Thank you for sharing your thoughts, readers. I find them interesting because I think they all have a little bit of different likes, like they all liked a different dinosaur, but they're still really good friends and they enjoy being together. And that reminds me of my group of friends too. All right, let's get started with our reading lesson. Yesterday, you learned that characters respond with their words, their actions, and their feelings. Can you do that with me again? Words, actions, feelings. But we noticed that sometimes when we had the same event, people wrote different things. People wrote what someone said with words, and other people wrote how they felt with feelings. And that's because characters often are like people. We don't respond to events with just one thing. Often we will say something and have a feeling, or we will do something and say something while we do it. We respond in more than one way. And when we read our books, we need to watch out for how our characters do that same work, because it tells us a lot about our character and helps us to get to know them. We're going to practice today using the exact same strategy we did yesterday, where we have a 3-column chart to record our thoughts. Who is the character? What is the event? And how do they respond? But this time, we're going to be on the lookout for more than one or multiple ways. Let's practice doing this work looking back into our story. I'm on the very first page of chapter 2 if you want to follow along in your book. Today I want to practice by thinking about Jamal on this page. So I'm going to write Jamal's name on my chart. Then I need to think, what is the event? What is the major event happening on this page? Well, we are getting introduced to new characters, aren't we? Josh and Carlita are finally coming over, and so that's a major event that's moving the story forward. So what event is happening? What is happening? His friends arrive. So now I have to stop and think. How does Jamal respond? Does he use words? What does he say? Actions, what does he do? Or feelings, how does he feel? Well, the first thing I notice is that Jamal responds using words. He says, there's Josh and Carlita. So on my chart, I'm going to write W, says friends' names, because he responds with words. But that wasn't the only thing he did, was it? He not only responded with words, he also pointed and waved. That's an action. What did he do? He points and waves. So I write A for action and points and waves. Now I know that Josh responded with both words and actions to this event in the story. Let's do it again with Carlita. On the top of the next page, it says, dinosaurs? Carlita giggled as she entered the backyard. Wow, they look amazing. So I want to do some thinking work about Carlita. So I'll write her name under character. Who is the character? It is Carlita. What is the event? So what event is happening right here? Well, she sees the dinosaurs. So that's what I write, sees the dinosaurs. Then I have to ask myself, how does she respond? Does she say something? Does she do something? Or does she feel something? Well, the first thing I notice is that she says something. They look amazing is one of the things that she says. So she responds with words. That's why there's a W. Says they look amazing. Is that all she does? No, she also responded with a feeling. She feels happy. And the reason I know that is because she's smiling and it says she giggled. And those two things together tell me that Carlita is feeling happy. She's happy about seeing the dinosaurs. Now I know how she responds to the dinosaurs because I saw what she said in her words and how she felt. All right, readers, it's your turn to try this work during your independent reading time. Here's your job for today. I want you to make a new 3-column chart in your notebook or on a piece of paper with the labels character, major event, and response. I want you to reread chapter 2 of Block Party Surprise. If you don't have it at home with you, the next Nearpod slide is going to be a PDF that you can read. So you're going to reread chapter 2 that we read together. And I want you to choose a place to stop and jot. Here's what you're going to do. Who is the character? Now remember, we have lots of characters in this story. Just pick one that you want to focus on for that part of the story. Who is the character? And then write down their name. What is the event? So what is happening in that part of the story? Write it down. And then think, how do they respond in multiple ways or more than one way? Yesterday we only wrote one way. Today I want you to write at least 2 ways. Sometimes they respond in all 3 ways. You could challenge yourself to try to find multiple ways where there's 3. But we need to have at least 2 because that's more than 1. So, who is the character? What is the event? How do they respond in more than one or multiple ways? If you still have time, again, try this in your independent reading book. Pick your favorite fiction story that you've been reading and pick a character and think about how they're responding to the events in your story. All right, readers, head off and have a great time, and don't forget to come back here and reflect on your lesson. Have fun!